This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today. Hello guys and welcome to the very next episode of the Middle Ages Comic Hour. We're not going to dilly-dally around here. We're going to jump right in. Ryan, how are we doing?
Good, mate. Good. How's yourself?
Oh, you know, living the dream, as I like to say. Living the dream. Look, there's been a lot going on with us in comics lately. Have you been doing much reading, doing much watching? Like, tell us what you've been up to lately.
Not much, really, to be honest with you. I've just been. I tend to pick two series and just make my way through it, and none of them have anything to do with comics at the moment. So,
Yeah.
I'd like to refrain from subscribing the series online, just because it's they're two Aussie shows. I'm watching Farmer Wants a Wife. And I'm watching Rescue Special Ops, which is shot mainly up your area. Oh. And, so I'm just watching those two at the moment. So nothing really comic-related has come across my desk, to be honest with you.
Well, look, you can't do comics all the time. And
No, not all the time.
Someone has to watch these reality shows that are out there, you know?
Yes.
Did you know... Right, okay, this would be going back a few years. There's a guy at my old work whose nephew was on Farmer Wants a Wife.
Okay.
Or was one of the contestants. And he wasn't a farmer. but his cousin or someone had access to a farm.
Yeah, you'll be right.
And it's just like they're that desperate for farmers that, I know a guy with a farm.
Wow.
You know?
I did not know they were stooping to that level, so thank you for ruining that for me, Jamie. I appreciate that.
There you go. Hey, no, it's what it's like. It's just like the I don't know if you remember this is going back 20 years, at least 20 years. There was a reality show called The Surprise Chef.
No, I don't recall.
The whole concept is he'd walk up to random people in the supermarket and go, I'm going to come to your place and cook for you. With whatever you have in your fridge. They're like, oh, okay. And then they go back to their house and they're like, oh, look, you have the exact ingredients I need to make. Yeah, but he came to the Cassells I used to work at. And, you know, we got a heads up and we had to, you know, everyone drop what you're doing and make the place look nice and pretty. And he brought his own customer and told them what to have in their fridge. And yeah, so it was like illusion shattered.
Well, there you go. The not so reality shows that used to be on TV.
Yeah. There you go. No, I've been watching a show that is flipping awesome called A Gentleman in Moscow or Moscow
Yes.
with Ewan McGregor, and I kid, like Ewan McGregor carries that show. Like, he is just such incredible to watch, and it is a pretty. It's not violent or gory or anything like that, but the tone of it, because he's like the last nobility in Russia as the revolution happened, and they want to kill all the they basically want to kill all the nobles and all that stuff. But he's been confined to a hotel, and the whole thing takes place within that hotel over 20, 30 years of his life, coming to terms with the old ways and in with new ways, sort of thing. Mentioned Stalin and all that. So it's brilliant. It's quite brilliant. It's on Paramount Plus. It is a bit full on, but only in tone and themes and stuff like that. But it's a brilliant watch. I'm 2 episodes from finishing it, but I highly recommend that.
I might have to check it out. Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yes, but let's not leave our listeners disappointed. Let's jump into some comic stuff. All right. I've been thinking a lot lately, Ryan, about comics and how many comic video games there are. So I've got a few articles that are describing, the best, what they think is the best comic book games. There seems to be a theme with what are the best, comic book TV shows. I'm just going to say that. Just we know what number one is. Okay, but I'm gonna run through some of these and you tell me what you think. All right, this first one's from fandom.com, and they're saying these are the best 10 top comic book related video games.
Okay.
Coming in number one is what we talked about last week. I think Deadpool.
Yes, yeah, very good game. As I said, as I mentioned last week, pretty true to the Deadpool style of things. With Deadpool, breaking the fourth wall and just random shit happening all over the place, just going through random different levels. And I think it's definitely in the top. It's definitely in the top 10.
Yeah, and it's not too long too. It's like it's perfect length. And then from memory, you can go and replay it again with all your stuff that you've got, and so it's fun. Now, coming in at number 9, I think I remember playing this, and I think I really enjoyed it, even though the movie was absolutely garbage. The game was pretty good. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yes, 100%. That game was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, you're right. It's way better than the movie. Yeah, you're 100% right. The version on PS3, I think it was PS3, was phenomenal. Really good story, really good action sequences. Yeah, 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. 100% that should be in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah. All right, this one's called Ragnarok Online. It's an MMO. I know nothing about it.
No, I can't say I've heard of it, to be honest with you.
Well, it says based on Korean manhwa of the same name. Was a slow burning cult classic. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I have not heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, so I guess we'll just have to take their word for it.
Take their word for it. Fandom, you're correct. Okay, next one's Injustice.
Yeah, Injustice, very good game. I really enjoyed it, even though it wasn't as long as you would think it would be. The story was pretty true to the comics.
Yep.
So yeah, 100% enjoyed that game.
I like the one where it's the second one, but with the Ninja Turtles. I was just like,
no,
yes.
that one you can get. I think you can get. They incorporated different characters like Hellboy and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
that was cool.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, coming in at number 6 is X-Men Legends 2: Rise of Apocalypse.
Yeah, I played one. They're pretty impressive. They're pretty impressive games. Back in their day, I think they were both PS2 games, or one was on GameCube from memory. Yeah, top games, really good role playing games. Yeah, 100% agree. They were great games.
Fantastic. Yes, the coming in number 5 is probably one of my all-time favorites, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, definitely.
How good was Ultimate Spider-Man?
I had that one on GameCube, and that was absolutely phenomenal. That was probably the most comic accurate game that you could get. Especially the stuff with Venom was spot on from the comics. So yeah, 100%.
I don't know for sure, but I feel like Spider-Man 2, like the game we just got, kind of took elements from this, because you got to be Venom, you got to,
definitely.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I just loved everything about this game. I played it so many times, and
Now I don't think I can play it anymore because I don't know where to get it. Wait, I do. I do. Her.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Get it PC, play it
Oh,
online.
yeah. All right, coming at number 4, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Can't say I've played that game to be honest with you, so I
It's pretty
really could.
cool.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty cool. I don't know if it was the original, but there was one that came out a few years after the movie. Um and yeah, it was like a download off the PS Store or whatever it was. It's a small game. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because I absolutely love that movie.
Yeah, oh, the movie, 100%. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. All right, coming at number 3 is Telltale's The Walking Dead.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I like the Telltale. Telltale was big, I think, about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
They had, they had The Walking Dead. They had a Batman one. They had a Fables one, from the DC side of things. They had a whole bunch of different ones that came out from that side of things, where it's
Yeah.
more choice based rather than action adventure.
Yeah.
Where you make the choice and then the outcome of the game depends on that choice. And yeah, look, I enjoyed the Walking Dead ones. There was I think 3 seasons worth and a couple of spin-offs.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, I agree. They're
Yeah.
pretty good games. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that they'd be that high, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing this article might be a bit old based on the games that we're seeing that's on the list.
Yeah. Well, let me check when it was. Yeah, it was 2015. There you go.
There you go. Because I haven't heard Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2 or
Yes.
things like that. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
it was quite a bit older.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Number 2 is The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, so that was another Telltale one. So that was the Fables one, The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Again, same kind of thing. You make the choices. It's set in a world where kind of fairy tales are real. So you've got the huntsman and the wolf and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really play much of it, but what I played of it was pretty good.
Well, number 1 is Arkham City.
Okay, yeah, I
I
agree.
loved Arkham City so freaking much, man.
Arkham City is definitely the best of the three. Of the four technically, but of the Arkham City, Arkham
Yeah.
Asylum, Arkham
Yeah.
City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight, Arkham City was definitely my favorite. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I would not have, and based on when this article came out, I don't have a problem with that being number one at all. 100%.
All right, I'll quickly zip through a sooner one, 2022. This one came out. It's Screen Rant, screenrant.com. Top 10. Number 10 is, again, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yep.
Number 9 is Scott Pilgrim. So it's getting a little bit repetitive, but now it goes to Lego Batman 2.
Yep. Lego Batman 2 was pretty good. I prefer the first one, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I'm PS3. The first one was pretty good. Look, I've got no problems with any of the Lego Batman games. They're all pretty solid. The first one was kind of the one that I got and played the most of. So yeah.
Well, this Lego games got pretty popular because I think did it start with Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? I can't remember which one it started with.
Started with Star Wars.
Yeah, and those games were great.
Started
And
with
then
Star Wars, then moved to Batman. Then Lord of the Rings. We got The Hobbit. We got Jurassic World. We
yeah,
got The Incredibles. We got like
yeah,
heaps of different things that came
yeah,
out of the games. So
yeah. And then the movie that was cool, the Lego movie.
yeah,
Okay, next is Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
yeah, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2
Yeah,
definitely great games. Similar to the X-Men Legends
yeah,
games, in terms of the way that they're set out. You get your four characters and you go and do the missions that Nick gives you and all that kind of thing. So yeah, very good games.
yeah. Cool. Lego Marvel superheroes. Seems to be a theme here. Lego.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. They're all good. Lego Marvel Superheroes is a good one. Lego Avengers as well. That was another good one. Yeah, Lego games are good. They've got good stories. You get pretty much every character that you can think of, because they've got access to the whole world. So yeah,
Yeah,
great
100%.
games.
Yeah. Okay. So again, The Wolf Among Us. I'm sensing a theme here. Then it jumps to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, I played it. I played it briefly. I haven't played it enough to say yes, it's an amazing game. But what I played of it was very impressive.
I never got around to playing it, and I kind of like, love the movies too much. It's like, I don't want to see the cheap cast.
Yeah, well, that's the cast is definitely not the same cast from the movie, so
Yeah,
it does feel
a
deep.
little different. Yeah,
But past that, the gameplay is pretty good.
yeah. Okay, coming at number 3 is Spider-Man, the PS4 one. So
I think we've
100%.
talked about Spider-Man a lot on a lot of our podcasts.
Yes, yes.
It's kind of like the Arkham games for me were where I was like, yes, this is good comic book games.
Yeah.
We got Spider-Man, the first one that came out.
Yeah.
And that was just amazing. I can't count on my hands the amount of times I've played through and finished it.
Yeah.
That includes Miles Morales. It includes Spider-Man 2. The amount of times that I've gone through and played and finished all of those games is just absolutely phenomenal. So, honestly, the top 3 for me would be Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, or Miles Morales, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think I'm due for, I think New Game Plus is out now for Spider-Man 2, is it? Yeah?
Yeah. In March, late March. So, yeah, we can jump back on and
Cool.
smack through
Yeah.
New Game Plus, sorry.
I'm playing Dragon's Dogma at the moment, so I might go back to that after I've finished Dragon's Dogma. I haven't had too much time to play lately, but hopefully I'll get a good sesh soon. But yeah.
I just downloaded Red Dead Redemption 2 today, which came out on the PlayStation
yes.
Plus. So I think I'll be busy for the next 6 years.
Yeah, and then some. Trust me. Because if you only want pointers, if you want any pointers, call me up, let me know. Because there are multiple, I know there's at least 2. Yeah, well, they're 2 different endings, but there's so many different ways you can do it, and you'll have a lot of fun. Trust me.
I've been looking forward to it. I've been, there's been times where it's been on sale and I haven't really had the money. I was like, oh, yeah, should I? And I was like, nah, I need to, buy food to eat.
Yes.
It's buying PlayStation games. It's been a toss up. Then I read that it was coming to May's PlayStation Plus games, and then I got the notification yesterday that it was out yesterday. So I downloaded it overnight, so it's ready to go tonight after I log off with you. And I'm looking forward to the experience.
Yeah. Just don't wander too far. This is when you're going through there's a prologue, and if you literally wander off the map, you'll die. Essentially, like you really will die because
I'm not really a massive open world guy. Like the Spider-Man games were probably the most open world that I've done. Yeah. So Ghost of Tsushima was another probably the most open world game I've played. So I'm pretty stick to the story. So, but even saying that, I am really looking forward to exploring it all.
Yeah, and look, it's not like any other open world game because every little bit of the map is interesting. Like
awesome.
You won't go, oh, I'm just riding for all this time. Oh, I'm just bored. No, you'll go like something will happen. There'll be an interaction. There'll be someone getting kidnapped. There'll be someone trying to hold you up. There'll be animals to hunt. It's just so much to do. But this isn't the Red Dead podcast. I could talk about this major.
Looking forward to playing it and checking it out and giving it a good run through.
Yeah. Coming in at number 2 is Injustice 2.
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned, the Injustice games are pretty good adaptations from the comics. Yeah. I wouldn't probably rate them this high, but definitely worth checking out if you haven't played the games. If more of the fault for people who don't know what Injustice is, and Injustice 2 is, it's more of a fighting game. Your Mortal Kombat, your Street Fighter, but with a bit of the comic story in the background too.
Yeah. And coming in at number 1 is Arkham City.
Okay. Yeah. Again, have no issues with that. Obviously, Spider-Man 2 hadn't come out yet. I don't think. I didn't think. 23. But yeah, 100%. Arkham City is the best of the Arkham games.
Well, it's Batman. He just makes such a good game, and just was it Kevin Conroy did the voice for the games too?
Yes. Yeah. That was his last that he did before his untimely death. Unfortunately, was the last was Arkham Knight. So Yes, it was the great Kevin Conroy and
Yeah,
Mark Hamill.
yeah, yeah. Because oh man, it's perfection. I
Mhm.
will say, look, while he's not as good as Kevin Conroy, he comes so close to doing the voice. It's the guy who did it for the Batman TMNT one, and it's just you can. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he models the voice of Kevin Conroy, and it's just like just look it up right now. Or are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up. Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, yes, the Joel from The Last of Us.
Mhm. Yes, Mr. Troy Baker. Well, that's why it fits so well. So yeah, Troy Baker as okay. Troy Baker as Bruce Wayne, Batman, and the Joker.
There you go. So he's talking to himself.
Very good range.
Very good range, and yeah, you can tell it's not. You can tell it's not Kevin Conroy, but it's close. Like it is close. Like if to a child, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference, you know.
Oh,
But
that's
to like
good.
but to someone who's like, you know, Kevin Conroy aficionados, you're gonna be like, that's not that's not Kevin Conroy, you know. But still, I reckon he does a pretty good job considering.
Well, I mean, Troy. We all know Troy Baker's a great voice actor. I mean,
Oh
from
yeah,
Joel, from The Last of Us, and then obviously being in season one
yep,
as one of the baddies.
yeah.
And yeah, look, you can't go wrong with Troy Baker.
All right, I got a quickish article because it's from comic book resources, but I had to test Ryan Haig because it says titled this is titled 25 video game comics fans never knew existed.
Right, yeah, okay. So you want to see how many I knew that existed and how
Yes,
many I didn't.
yes. So these are
Okay.
comics that are based on video games themselves. All right.
Let's take the challenge.
All right, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Sonic the comic. Did you know there was a Sonic comic?
I didn't know there was. Well, yes, technically, yes, I did. It's I've only known of the more recent one,
Hmm.
which has come out in the last say 6 or 7 years. But yeah, I did know there was a Sonic the Hedgehog comic book.
Yeah. Well, it was apparently cancelled in 2002, so it's an older one, and it ran for 200 issues.
Oh well, there you go.
Obviously, okay, now here we go. A UK series, so from Fleetway Comics, so obscure. All right, God of War,
Yeah,
and
I did.
you're
I
like,
the God
come
of
on, come
the
on.
God of the God of War fan that I am.
Mhm.
I have read the older comics of God of War, so yes, I did know. I was aware of those.
Of course you did. Number 23, Infamous.
Okay. No, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I didn't know. I knew obviously know of the games.
Yeah,
I played the games, but no, I
yeah,
didn't know there was a comic. There you go.
yeah. DC did it as well.
Oh, there you go. No, I had no idea.
Yeah. All right. Kingdom Hearts, a manga.
No, I didn't know about Kingdom Hearts. So
Well, this article seems to be pretty spot
yeah,
on. Metal Gear Solid.
no, again,
No,
didn't know about Solid Comics.
it must be obscure. Um, Ratchet and Clank.
No, I'm going to say no, no there either.
Yeah. Uh, Comic adaptation in 2010. So, I mean, it could be like all the Ninja Turtles crossovers and that. Like they're like smaller companies
Yeah.
doing them or indie people doing them. Um, Space Quest. I don't even know about that as a game.
No, I haven't heard of a game or the comic, so
Yeah.
that's a no for me.
All right, Splatoon. Haven't even heard of Splatoon.
No, again,
Okay.
a no from.
Please tell me that you know there's a Street Fighter comic.
Yes, I do. I've read it many times.
There
Well,
we go.
going back to even when I was a young boy, there was still Street Fighter comics out back then.
Yeah, well, in 1993. Okay, Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
Super Mario.
yes, I did. I was aware of a Super Mario comic that came out. Yes.
Now, Ryan, the podcast is officially over if you don't know about this one, because the amount of times you have spoken about this topic, these games, to random guests that I don't even know if they wanted to know about your love of Resident Evil, but did you know there's a Resident Evil comic?
I know there's a Resident Evil comic. I know there's Resident Evil book series of 6. I know that there's So yes, I do know that there is Resident Evil, 100%.
Whew, whew. Okay, we can move on. Tekken.
Tekken. I've never really been into the Tekken games, so I can't say that I've known that there was comics based on Tekken as well.
Well, the only thing I knew about Tekken, I played Tekken once, and there was like some little tiny lizard called Gon or something like that, and that's as much as I know about Tekken. Tron.
No, I can't say I was aware of any Tron comics. No.
All right. Gears of War.
Yes, I do know of Gears of War comics, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't remember who bought them out, but yeah, I definitely remember them.
DC.
DC.
So that's three of these comics that have been done by DC. Okay, Atari Force.
No, I can't say I've ever heard of Atari Force before.
No, it looks kind of weird. Okay, there's another Street Fighter 2, certain comics, obviously. Another. Man, how many times have they done God of War?
Lots.
Yeah, okay, God of War. Phoenix. There's a lot of manga. Phoenix Wright, whatever that is. Where's Chris when you need him?
Yeah, I haven't heard of Phoenix Wright before, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Silent Hill.
Yeah, Silent Hill. I've definitely heard of the Silent Hill comics.
All right. Well, there's a lot of different ones. It's doing Resident Evil Wildstorm, so it's just like another version. But apparently there's a Legend of Zelda manga.
Is there really? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't say I've heard of that.
Well, there you go. I think you've heard of some and you haven't heard of some.
I think it was about 50-50, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So there you go. Comic book resources. You were 50% accurate.
No, they were 100% accurate. I was 50% accurate.
No. Well, no, because I was saying like 50%. Like they said, 25 video games that you never knew existed. So they, you know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
With me, I knew about one or two.
Yes.
So it's, I know they did a Horizon Zero Dawn comic, but it just looked boring. Like it's just like, hey, let's do a comic without the main character.
Yeah, exactly.
And you
I hate it when they absolutely do. It's a waste of time and money.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like you what you could have done possibly is just set it in that universe and done something new. But they said, do you know that character that you sort of meet once or twice? Them. And you're like,
yeah, that's the easy way out.
Yeah. But okay, so that's our fun little articles done. Do you want to talk about Iron Man now, Ryan?
Yeah, so let's delve into the Invincible Iron Man issue 122.
Now, I have a lot to talk about with this issue. There's a lot in it. There's a lot of words. I'm convinced there's more words than the entire run of Sweet Tooth.
Yes.
Speaking of Sweet Tooth, have you seen the latest trailer? Oh no, you haven't because you haven't watched season 2 yet, have you?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So no, well, Sweet Tooth is out in probably. It's out now when this because this episode we're recording it early. So when you're listening to it, guys, it's out now. Go check it out. Season 3 is the final season, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And it looks like you can just tell it is the wrap up season. And please don't do any more if you've finished it. That's all I can say. And they know that when you're filming with children, you've got to film them quickly because if Stranger Things has told us anything, they grow so fast. Like, it'll be like, hi, I'm Sweet Tooth. I'm adorable. Yeah, exactly. Although, I just briefly on that, I wouldn't mind, Jeff Lemire, if you're listening, do Old Man Sweet Tooth. Something like an older Sweet Tooth. It'd be pretty cool, I don't know how Sweet Tooth the comic ends, so I might be, You
haven't finished it yet, have you?
I haven't had time to finish it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I've got there's a long weekend coming up soon, so I might sit down and crack out a few more issues because it would be a quick read because it's how visual it is and that sort of thing. But anyway, let's crack into Iron Man in Journey number 122, I believe.
Yes,
And like
correct.
we said, all the same writers. There's a lot of
Artists. So yeah.
characters in this particular issue. Including the Submariner. He's back
Yeah,
briefly.
not for much. He's back.
Well, they got to do the overlap. You're like, remember last episode,
Yes.
last issue, you know? And it's just like I really like how they wrote back then. It's very formulated, and the cliffhangers, always a cliffhanger,
Mhm.
always. It's almost like modern television has done this thing where they're like, hey, you know how they used to write back then? Let's bring that back. And
Definitely, definitely. I really like the way they used to write back in the
yeah,
the 70s and 80s. It used
yeah,
to be legit every single time there'd be a cliffhanger,
yeah,
regardless of
yeah,
whereabouts what the story was.
yeah.
So I really love that.
And it's as much as like I love the shows I grew up watching, like Stargate and
Mhm.
MacGyver, and they were always just like, that's it. New
Mhm.
episode. That's it, new episode. But then when there's an end of a season, they might have a cliffhanger. There might be a mid-season cliffhanger. But you watch all these shows on Netflix, it's just every episode is a cliffhanger. You're going, what happens now? You're making me watch more. And it pulls you in. But anyway, let's dive into this issue. As usual, chime in whenever you want, Ryan, and I'll get my beautiful reading voice ready. After saying goodbye to the Submariner, Jim Rhodes, and Bethany Cabe, Iron Man flies off en route for home. Along the way, he reflects upon the events that made him into the man he is today. Flashback. Briefly on that, did they do much flashbacks back in the day, back in comics? Is that a common thing that they used to do?
Not really, not really. I think they did them every so often, just in case there was new readers that jumped on
All
and
right,
were a
okay.
bit hey, where did this all happen? How did this all happen? But yeah, maybe once every 50, 60 issues. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say
Okay.
occasionally, yeah.
It was just interesting because this is a pretty significant flashback. I'm just going to say,
Definitely.
and you'll probably find out why, and you'll probably, I don't know, get a touch or a feeling of familiarity in this one. Just saying for those who may not have read the comic, but have watched the Robert Downey Jr. movie, the masterpiece that is the movie that kicked off Avengers. But let's move on. Tony Stark is in a secluded laboratory within the U.S. defense perimeter in Vietnam during the war. He demonstrates his revolutionary new transistor technology to a U.S. general and shows how it can amplify the power of a single magnet to tear down a solid steel door. That's cool. Later, Tony accompanies an army platoon through the jungle. He trips on a landmine and the explosion kills every man in the unit and nearly kills Tony as well. A piece of shrapnel embeds itself in his chest, where it is lodged dangerously close to his heart. Sound familiar? A North Vietnamese warlord named Wong Chu takes Tony Stark back to his bunker, where he makes him an offer. In exchange for having Wong Chu's surgeons save his life, Tony must agree to develop weapons for the NVA. Tony has little choice in the matter but to comply. Wong Chu partners with him, an elderly scientist named Ho Yinsen. All right, let's pause right there, Ryan, because that sounds eerie familiar to me.
Yeah, so that's in the Tony Stark universe. That's
Yeah.
Yinsen, the gentleman that is partnered with him in the cave.
Yes.
That helps him develop the technology for the suit and
Yes.
everything like that. So it's essentially the same character, just different
Yeah.
era.
Yeah. Well, because initially, because the comics written in the 70s, the Vietnam War was very, that's the thing that was going on. You
Yes.
bring that to the modern era, you're not going to go, Tony Stark was in Vietnam. You're like, you're mighty
Yeah.
young. You're a very young man to be in Vietnam,
Exactly.
that sort of thing. That sort of thing. But it's really cool to see how they've taken this, because they've honored the story. They've just had to tweak it for a modern audience. Now, obviously, they couldn't still call the Middle Eastern warlord Wong Chu, obviously.
Exactly.
But it's cool that they still called Yinsen, and they, obviously did it with taste and, modern audience. And I think it's just brilliant how they've taken it. And
Oh, definitely.
usually people get very annoyed.
Fortunate that we've had wars that they can just go, okay, this was around the Afghanistan war, so let's just use the Afghanistan war. You know what I mean?
Well, they always can, because there's always war. in the Middle
Yeah.
East. It's always a thing that's going to be there. But yeah, so for obvious reasons, that's what they did. Okay, so Tony Stark and Yinsen labor for many weeks, but they do not develop a weapon to be used by the Vietnamese. Instead, they secretly create a rudimentary battle suit made from scrap metal. I said scrap metal in the voice of Jeff Bridges, and various electronics. When Professor Yinsen is alerted to the arrival of Wong Chu's men, he rushes out into the corridor to create a distraction. Sound familiar? Enabling Tony enough time to power up the armor. Emerging from the table as the Iron Man, Tony hears gunfire and knows that Professor Yinsen is dead. He breaks free of the compound and stalks off into the nearby village to confront Wong Chu. Man, that is brilliant. I'm sorry, whoever wrote Iron Man 2008, brilliant. Because I see it, and even the flippant armor that is in this comic looks so much like the one that's in the movie. Like
It does, 100%. They've taken a lot of inspiration from the original Iron Man suit from back in the day.
yeah, and just like this actually makes me like that movie even more. I have more love for that movie now. I literally am going to go probably watch it this weekend. I'm going to probably start an MCU watch through again. I may even watch the controversial and terrible Iron Man 3.
Oh my God.
I just might. I maybe. We'll see when I get there. I may hover over the remote for a while, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so he finds Wong Chu entertaining himself by wrestling captured villagers. Iron Man grabs the warlord, hoists him up into the air, and spins him about before slamming him back onto the ground. Wong Chu's troops open fire on Iron Man, but their bullets are ineffective against Tony's armor. Wong Chu flees in panic, but Iron Man ignites a nearby ammunitions dump which explodes, seemingly killing Wong Chu. Wow. Again, I can't say it enough. How much of this is in the movie. So back in the United States, Tony Stark makes several upgrades to the armor and eventually has a heart transplant, eliminating the need for a transistorized chest plate. As the superhero Iron Man, he becomes a long-time member of the team known as the Avengers.
The Avengers, yes.
As Iron Man approaches Long Island, his flight path is monitored by the criminal industrialist Justin Hammer. Hammer is pleased with his past attempts to control Tony's armor, but now he is preparing for the biggest test of all. Let me get this straight. So is Justin Hammer trying to remotely control Iron Man's armor?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he believes that there's no one in Iron Man's armor, that it's just a remote control. Just an empty shell of a remote control drone kind of thing. So he's like, I want to take control of this and I want to use this for Hammer Industries and everything like that without realizing there's someone in there.
So basically in this universe, no one knows that Tony Stark is Iron Man.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that line from Robert Downey Jr. at the end of Iron Man, I believe, was improvised and they decided to keep it in. That's the whole new MCU thing where he's just like, hey, I'm Iron Man. Which kind of makes sense because
Exactly right. And then eventually we do get there in the comic universe. But yes, that was just a hey, typical Tony Stark arrogance. What? I'll bugger you. I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
At me, so to speak.
Yeah. It works. And that's the annoying thing I find about the MCU when Spider-Man came in, when Peter Parker was literally just, hi, I'm Peter. Hi, I'm Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, man, come on. Keep your identity secret.
Well, we're using our secret identities. Okay, I'm Spider-Man. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one thing that bugged me a little bit about. Because I recently watched the extended edition of No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Some of it was like a little annoying. Like it was just like you could tell they just added scenes to see what they wanted to choose and what they wanted to get, and but we got more Matt Murdock, we got more J. Jonah Jameson. It was pretty cool, but yeah, I lost my train of thought. Anyway,
no, I'm going to have to check it out. I haven't had a chance to watch it as of yet, but yeah, definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, well, it's longer. I think it's like 2.5 or 2:40 or something like that. It's just a fantastic film, and even like flipping Willem Dafoe, he's just an
Willem
incredible
Dafoe.
he's just an
Yeah,
incredible actor, and the same. Look, I know I say it all the time, but Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, but I think it's also because he's a stronger actor than the others.
I agree. I agree. I popped more for him, but I still seeing Tobey Maguire come back in
Yeah,
and get his,
yeah,
you know what I mean? That was pretty awesome too.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, because they're all great in their own way.
Yeah.
The It's just I love Tom Holland because of his height, and he looks like a kid. Even when he's 30, he looks
Yeah.
like a tiny child. You know,
Yeah.
but his Flash is annoying.
Yeah.
I wish they would have either gone, hey, let's call MJ Mary Jane and
Yeah.
had the same actress, and or like what's this Michelle? Oh, I'm Michelle Jones. Michelle Jones. Like, no, just like pick one. Either she's MJ or she's not MJ. Like that annoyed me. But he's had every villain in Tom Holland's Spider-Man's been fantastic.
100%. And then we got to see Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin
Yes.
and sorry, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin in the Tom Holland universe. Everything was
Yeah.
perfect.
That was
Uh,
and like you could not ask for more. And I think now we're going to get that excitement with Deadpool and Wolverine.
yeah.
That's
Definitely.
that's
Definitely.
and they've started the promo and stuff. Have you seen the Heineken ad they did?
No, I didn't. I didn't see it. No.
It's got like, okay, so it starts off with Deadpool getting thrown against a tree, and he's like, whoa, 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 hang on, man. And then like Wolverine goes to get his claws out, and it goes, nothing happens, and he's like, oh, I stole some of your adamantium to make these, and the Heineken cans come up, and it's so ridiculously stupid, but
I'll have to. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'll have to check it out.
it is. Or just go to Ryan's Reynolds Instagram or Hugh Jackman's. It's up there.
Okay.
It's I can't wait. It's so close for that coming out, and I hope Ryan, you can venture outside and come to the cinemas for a
I
laugh.
hope so too. I think I should be sweet by then, by end of July, at least. But fingers crossed. That's what I'm aiming for.
I will be watching it multiple times. Do not worry. And a little off topic, but the last movie I watched, which surprised me because our good friend Matthew Holmes raved about the new Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I was like, going, do I want to? Because that trilogy was great. It was Matt Reeves that did the first trilogy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
I'm going. He did a fantastic trilogy. I want to go back and watch them all. The second was my favorite. I'm going. You cannot beat that second one. The third one was good, but it wasn't that. And then Matt Holmes is like, no, this new one is better than the second. And I'm like going, all right, challenge accepted. And I went and saw it, and I went, you know what? I don't know if I'd say it's better, but it's equal. Fantastic.
I think you watched it after hanging out with a lot of different Filipinos, so that could have increased your viewing.
It could have been. It was more so a baby shower. Now, for you guys listening at home, how many guys go to baby showers?
Not this one.
What's that? Crickets? I can hear crickets. Yes. Well, it was the weirdest thing, but yeah, but that could be out. But I'm still keen to go see it again. It did bug me because it was filmed in Australia, and I was just like, from the opening shot, I'm going like, that's a gum tree. They're all gum trees. That's Australia. What are all these monkeys doing in Australia? What are they doing in South Sydney? But it was just and I'm just sure you've probably seen the review that I whipped up for our Instagram. Hero's Journey. Like, it was literally the hero's journey, and it literally was like one of my favorite genres, road films, where they're traveling. Like Logan is a road film, and it feels grounded in it, even though the monkeys, but fantastic film.
I'm keen to see it. I'm looking forward to checking it out once it comes on the high seas or on streaming here at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely keen to see it.
Check it out, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Anyway, guys, I haven't even been looking at the clock, but I feel we're getting close to the hour mark.
I believe so too.
So yeah, guys, thanks for listening. I'm trying to think. Okay, next episode. I'm trying to think ahead because this is recorded in advance. Next episode, we have someone coming back on for an interview. She was our second ever person we interviewed. She goes by the name of
Okay.
Honey Parker. I don't know if you remember Honey Parker. She had a fantastic response to our icebreaker question about zombies and stuff like that. She's a very funny lady. She's coming back on to talk about her new book, which is out on June 25th, I believe. It's called V Life, and it's about vampires. So
Nice.
could be very interesting. But either way, it'll be hilarious. So stick around to check that out. And as always, I'm sure you've heard the ads, guys, but check out our sponsors, Rebecca Cassells, the legendary Martin Kearns. They are both brilliant writers. They both have brilliant works, and you can buy all their stuff by following the link in the show notes. If you guys want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional at gmail.com, stories_podcast on Instagram or on Facebook and all that other stuff. But thank you so much, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for showing so much support with these episodes, especially these comic book episodes. They seem to be our most popular. If you're loving them, reach out. Like we'd love to talk to you if you've got comic books that you love and you want us to talk about. Let us know what they are. And
Definitely.
yeah. Well, in the famous last words we say every time, we'll catch you next time.
See you next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series. Do you like violence? Do you like smut? Are you tired of the stereotypical novels of werewolf romance out there and want something a little bit different? Then pick up Sparked Revolution, Book 1 in the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Available on Amazon, in Kindle, and paperback. You too can become a sponsor of Stories The True and the Fictional by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes.